When was the last time you bit your tongue instead of striking back? What if, in that moment of restraint, you held the power to unravel pride and uncover truth? Socrates, the barefoot sage of Athens, never clapped back, not because he couldn't, but because he chose questions over quarrels. 2,000 years ago, he faced insults, accusations, even death, with a calm that cut deeper than any retort. What is justice? He'd ask a tyrant. What is wisdom? He'd probe a sophist. His questions didn't just disarm. They dismantled, forcing egos to face their fragility. What would happen if you met anger with a question, pride with a pause? Could you, like Socrates, turn conflict into clarity? This is not just his story. It's a challenge to you, now, to wield the quiet power of inquiry. Are you ready to ask the questions that silence the noise within and around you, to live as Socrates did, a king of truth who needed no crown? This is Socratic Spark, where ancient wisdom meets modern success. If you love timeless lessons and powerful motivation, hit subscribe and let's grow together. Socrates is not a relic of history, not a name etched in stone or a figure frozen in time. He is a voice, sharp, urgent, alive, whispering across centuries, asking you to think, to question, to awaken. In the dusty agora of Athens, he roamed barefoot, his cloak worn thin, stopping strangers with questions that pierce their souls. What is virtue? What makes your life worth living? To some, he was a teacher, to others, a pest. To the powerful, he was a threat, condemned for corrupting the youth and impiety. But to those who truly listened, he was a guide, a king of wisdom who needed no throne. His refusal to clap back, to meet insult with insult, was his power, a silent strength that humbled egos and revealed truth. Why does Socrates matter today? Because we live in a world of noise, social media feuds, polarized debates, egos shouting to be heard. His philosophy, summed up in the unexamined life is not worth living, is a call to rise above the fray, to question the certainties we cling to find clarity amid chaos. He faced death with a calm that shook Athens, his questions echoing through Plato, Aristotle, and every truth seeker since. Socrates' secret, never clapping back, always questioning, offers us courage to live authentically, to confront power with truth, to choose virtue over victory. This speech is not about a distant philosopher. It's about you. It's about the moments you choose to fight or to pause, to defend your ego or to seek truth. Socrates promises no easy answers, only a path to sharper clarity, deeper courage, and a life aligned with the good. Walk with him through Athens, stand with him in his trial, and let his questions strip away the noise that clouds your soul. Let's begin. What is stronger than the urge to strike back, to meet fire with fire? In the heart of Athens, Socrates wielded restraint like a scepter, turning insults into opportunities for truth. Picture him in the agora, as Xenophon recounts in Memorabilia, surrounded by a bustling crowd. A young sophist, eager for fame, taunts him. Socrates, your questions are weak. Fight me with words. The crowd jeers, expecting clash. But Socrates pauses, his weathered face calm, and asks, what is strength? Is it to shout or to seek understanding? The sophist falters, the crowd hushes, and Socrates' restraint reveals a power greater than any retort, the power to rise above ego. In Plato's Apology, this restraint shines during his trial. Accused of corrupting the youth, Socrates could have lashed out at Meletus, but he chose questions. What is corruption? How does teaching thought harm? His restraint wasn't passivity. It was mastery, a refusal to let ego dictate his response. As Plato notes, Socrates saw himself as Athens' gadfly, stinging the city awake, not with anger but with inquiry. His restraint disarmed his accusers, exposing their pride while preserving his integrity. Today, we're quick to clap back on social media, in arguments, in defense of our pride. Socrates' power of restraint is a lesson. Pause before reacting. Ask, why am I angry? What truth lies beneath this? Try this. Next time you're provoked, wait 5 seconds and ask a question instead of retorting. Notice how it shifts the dynamic. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, who valued self-control, and modern mediators echo Socrates' restraint. His life shows that true strength lies not in winning fights, but in choosing truth over ego. This power of restraint leads us to Socrates' weapon of choice, Questions over quarrels, the art of inquiry that dismantles pride. What cuts deeper than an argument won, than a comeback that stings? Socrates chose questions over quarrels, turning conflict into clarity. Imagine him in a shaded courtyard, as in Plato's Laches, surrounded by eager youths. A brash general, puffed up with victories, challenges him. Your questions are childish. Socrates, give me answers. Socrates, his eyes twinkling, replies, What is an answer? Is it truth, or just the end of thought? The general stammers. The youths lean in, and Socrates' question transforms potential clash into a moment of revelation, humbling ego without a single harsh word. In Gorgias, Socrates faces Callicles, who glorifies power. What is power? Socrates asks, his question peeling back Callicles' bravado to reveal its emptiness. As Plato records, Socrates didn't argue. He inquired, letting his opponent's egos unravel under scrutiny. His method, the Socratic dialogue, was a dance of questions, not a duel of words. Xenophon's memorabilia shows him teaching a poet. What is beauty? The poet's answers falter, but the question sparks growth, not conflict. Today, we're caught in quarrels, online feuds, political divides, personal grudges. Socrates' approach is a remedy. Ask, what if I questioned instead of argued? Try this. In a disagreement, ask, what do you mean by that? And listen. It diffuses tension and fosters understanding. Thinkers like Nietzsche, who wrestle with Socrates' method, and modern facilitators of dialogue echo his approach. His questions over quarrels show that truth, not victory, is a goal. This art of questioning brings us to the heart of Socrates' battle, the ego's fragile throne, which crumbles under scrutiny. What holds us back more than the ego we crown as king? Socrates saw ego as a fragile throne, easily toppled by honest inquiry. Picture him in the Agora, as in Plato's Euthyphro, questioning a priest who claims divine wisdom. What is piety? Socrates asks. Euthyphro's confidence cracks as his answers unravel. His ego's throne revealed as a house of cards. The crowd watches, transfixed, as Socrates' questions expose the fragility of pride. In the Apology, Socrates declares, I know that I know nothing, a direct challenge to ego. His trial was a clash between Athens' pride and his humility. Accused of impiety, he asked, What is piety? Forcing the jury to face their own contradictions. Xenophon's memorabilia shows him humbling a merchant. What is wealth? The merchant's ego falters, revealing that true riches lie in wisdom, not gold. Today, ego reigns on social media, in workplaces, in our minds. Socrates' lesson is clear. Question your ego. Ask, why do I need to be right? What am I protecting? Try this. Admit one mistake openly, without defense. Notice how it frees you. Psychologists like Daniel Kahneman, who study cognitive biases, and philosophers like Augustine, who sought humility, echo Socrates. His life shows that ego's throne is fragile, and questions are undoing. This dismantling of ego leads to Socrates' true crown, truth worn silently but regally. What shines brighter than the loudest boast? Socrates wore truth as a silent crown, its radiance outshining ego. Imagine him at a banquet, as in Plato's Symposium, surrounded by Athens' elite. A poet praises his own verses, expecting applause. Socrates asks, What is beauty? Is it your words, or the truth they seek? The poet falters, the room still, as Socrates' quiet inquiry crowns truth above pride. In Phaedo, Facing Death, Socrates speaks of truth eternity. A good man cannot be harmed. His calm, as Xenophon notes, was his crown, earned not by arguing but by questioning. His dialogues, like those in Republic, sought the good, not glory. What is justice? He asked, his questions a beacon that lit the path to truth. Today, we chase loud crowns, fame, likes, status. Socrates' silent crown is a challenge. Ask, am I seeking truth or approval? Try this. For one day, prioritize honesty over image in every choice. Thinkers like Arendt, who value truth in action, reflect Socrates' crown. His life shows that truth, worn quietly, outshines all. This silent crown requires listening, the art Socrates mastered to hear truth's whisper. What is heard in the silence between words? Socrates' art of listening turned questions into revelations. Picture him in a grove, as in Phaedrus, with a young disciple. A rhetorician interrupts, boasting of his eloquence. Socrates listens, then asks, "What is eloquence? Is it to speak or to hear?" The rhetorician pauses, and Socrates' listening creates a space for truth to emerge. In Meno, Socrates listens to a slave boy's answers, guiding him to knowledge through questions. His trial, as in the Apology, showed his listening. He heard his accusers, then questioned their logic. Xenophon's Memorabilia notes his patience, letting others speak before probing. Today, we struggle to listen, distracted by noise. Socrates' art is practical. Listen to understand, not to reply. Ask, am I truly hearing? Try this. In a conversation, focus only on listening, then ask a question. Modern communication theories echo this. Socrates' listening crowned him a king of dialogue. This art of listening shapes his legacy. Unanswered insults, a life of questions that endure. What outlives the sting of an insult? Socrates' legacy is his refusal to clap back, his questions a crown that endures. In Phaedo, his final question, "What is death?" answered Athens' verdict with truth. His dialogues, preserved by Plato and Xenophon, inspired Aristotle, Augustine, and beyond. His trial, as in the Apology, left a legacy of inquiry over ego. Today, his unanswered insults challenge us. Ask, can I let go of pride? Try this. Face an insult with a question, not a retort. Thinkers like Popper, who valued questioning, reflect Socrates' legacy. His life proves that questions, not comebacks, shape eternity. You're watching Socratic Spark. If his philosophy sparks something in you, subscribe now and keep the flame of knowledge alive. What power lies in the breath between words, in the pause that lets truth emerge? Socrates mastered this wisdom, turning moments of tension into revelations without a single retort. Picture him in the bustling agora of Athens, as Xenophon describes in Memorabilia. His presence a quiet anchor amid the chaos. A wealthy merchant, offended by Socrates' probing, snaps, "Your questions mock me. Answer or be gone." The crowd anticipates a clash, but Socrates pauses, his silence a gentle wave washing over the merchant's anger. Then, with measured calm, he asks, "What is mockery? Is it to question, or to avoid the truth?" The merchant's fury ebbs, his ego softened, as Socrates' pause creates space for reflection, transforming confrontation into connection. This wisdom of pause was Socrates' art, not of evasion but of elevation. In Plato's Apology, during his trial, he pauses before responding to Anytus' accusations. "What is impiety?" he asks after deliberate silence, letting the jury's hostility hang in the air. This wasn't hesitation. It was strategy, a way to disarm ego by giving it room to reveal itself. As Plato portrays in Crito, even in prison, Socrates pauses when Crito urges escape. Is it just a flea? His pauses, like lanterns in the dark, illuminated the path to virtue, forcing others to confront their impulses without him clapping back. Socrates' life was a series of such pauses. He didn't rush to defend or attack. He waited, listening to the rhythm of truth. In dialogues like Euthydemus, facing two sophist verbal traps, he pauses, then questions their premises, turning their speed against them. Xenophon notes his patience with a young disciple. "What is courage?" asked after thoughtful silence, guiding the youth to self-discovery. Today, we fill pauses with noise, quick replies, defensive words, endless chatter. Socrates' wisdom of pause is a practical antidote. Ask, what happens if I wait? What truth emerges in silence? Try this. In a tense moment, pause for 10 seconds before speaking, then ask a question. Notice how it shifts power from ego to inquiry. Modern mindfulness practices, like those of John Kabat-Zinn and philosophers like Heidegger, who explored being in stillness, echo Socrates' pause. His life shows that wisdom blooms in the quiet spaces, leading us to his next strength, the humility of not knowing. What strength is found in admitting, "I don't know," in refusing to clap back with false certainty? Socrates crowned himself with his humility, a king whose throne was ignorance turned to wisdom. Imagine him by the Ilissus River, as in Plato's Phaedrus, Barefoot in the grass, a young poet boasting of his insights. I know the secrets of love, the poet declares. Socrates, his face etched with genuine curiosity, replies after a thoughtful nod. What is knowledge? Do you truly know, or do you assume? The poet's pride wilts, not from attack but from Socrates' humble admission. I know that I know nothing, a phrase from the Apology that disarmed egos by example. This humility was Socrates' core, as Plato recounts in the Oracle story. Declared wisest by Delphi, he questioned all Athens to prove it wrong, finding wisdom in his awareness of limits. In Gorgias, facing Polus' boast of power, Socrates humbly asked, "What is a good?" refusing to claim superiority. Xenophon's memorabilia shows him with a craftsman. "What is your craft's essence?" asked with humility, drawing out the man's own wisdom without imposing his. At his trial, humility shone. "I am not wise," he said, yet questioned the jury's certainty, his refusal to clap back rooted in honest self-assessment. This wasn't self-deprecation. It was liberation, freeing him from ego's need to prove. Today, humility is rare. We clap back with opinions, fearing I don't know. Socrates' humility is empowering. Ask, where am I pretending to know? What if I admitted ignorance? Try this. In a discussion, say I don't know and ask a follow-up question. It builds trust and opens learning. Thinkers like Popper, who embrace falsifiability, and modern leaders like Sati and Adela, who promote a learn-it-all mindset, reflect Socrates. His humility shows that not knowing is a crown of inquiry, guiding us to the serenity of acceptance. What peace comes from accepting what you cannot change, from meeting life's blows without clapping back? Socrates found serenity in acceptance, a calm that crowned him amid chaos. Picture him in his prison cell. As Plato's Crito describes, the walls closing in, his friend Crito pleading for escape. Flee, Socrates, the law is unjust. Crito urges. Socrates, serene, asks, what is justice? Shall I accept the city's verdict or betray my principles? His acceptance wasn't resignation. It was harmony, a refusal to fight fate with ego. In Phaedo, facing death, Socrates accepts the hemlock. A good man cannot be harmed, he says, his serenity rooted in virtue. Xenophon's memorabilia shows him accepting a youth's rudeness. What is rudeness? Asked calmly, turning insult into lesson without retaliation. His trial embodied this, accepting condemnation. He questioned it philosophically, serene in his commitment to truth. This acceptance, as Plato notes, stemmed from his examined life. No regrets, no need to clap back. Today, we resist acceptance, clapping back at injustice or fate. Socrates' serenity teaches release. Ask, what must I accept? How does fighting it serve ego? Try this. Accept one unchangeable fact daily, then question its meaning. Stoics like Epictetus and modern therapists like those using ACT, acceptance and commitment therapy, echo Socrates. His serenity shows acceptance as a silent strength, leading to the resilience of the soul. What endures when the body fails, when insults rain down unanswered? Socrates' soul was resilient, a fortress built on truth that no clapback could breach. Imagine his final hours in Phaedo, the poison numbing his legs, his friends grieving. Yet Socrates, resilient, asks, what is the soul? Is it eternal? His question, born of inner strength, turns death into dialogue, his refusal to retaliate against fate a crown of endurance. In Republic, Socrates describes the soul's resilience, just as within makes it unassailable. Xenophon's memorabilia shows him resilient against the sophist Barbs. What is resilience? Asked without defense, his soul unshaken. At his trial, as in the Apology, resilience shone. The unexamined life is not worth living, he declared, accepting death but not defeat. This resilience wasn't stoic numbness. It was active inquiry, sustaining him through adversity. Today, resilience is tested by criticism and failure. Socrates' example builds soul strength through questions. Ask, what breaks me? How can I question it? Try this. Face a setback and question its lesson. Thinkers like Frankl, who found meaning in suffering, reflect Socrates. His resilient soul shows that truth fortifies us, circling back to his refusal to clap back. What reflects the truth of your soul when pride clouds your vision? Socrates held up a mirror of inquiry, never clapping back but questioning to reveal the self beneath the ego. Picture him in the agora, as Xenophon recounts in Memorabilia. Standing among merchants and youths, his presence a quiet challenge. A brash politician, cloaked in self-assurance, taunts him. "Socrates, your questions are a fool's game. What do you achieve?" The crowd smirks, expecting a retort. But Socrates, his eyes gleaming with calm intensity, asks, "What is achievement? Is it applause? On knowing your own soul?" The politician falters, the crowd stills, and Socrates' mirror of inquiry reflects not just a man's pride, but the fragility of all ego. In that moment, the agora becomes a sacred space, where questions strip away pretense to uncover truth. This mirror of inquiry was Socrates' gift, as seen in Plato's Alcibiades' eye. He tells the ambitious Alcibiades, "Know yourself, for without self-knowledge, you are lost." His questions, what is virtue? What is justice? Weren't meant to shame but to reflect, forcing others to see their contradictions. In Apology, during his trial, he holds this mirror to the jury. What is corruption? He asks, exposing their hypocrisy without a single clapback. Xenophon's Memorabilia shows him with a young craftsman. What is your craft's purpose? The craftsman's shallow answers crumble, revealing a deeper self waiting to be discovered. Socrates' inquiry was a deliberate act of love, not aggression. He believed, as Plato notes, that the unexamined life was not worth living, and his questions were a mirror to guide souls to truth. His refusal to clap back at insults, whether from Meletus or the agora's hecklers, was rooted in this. Why fight ego with ego when a question could reveal more? Today, we hide from self-reflection, curating personas online and avoiding hard truths. Socrates' mirror of inquiry is a call to face ourselves. Ask, what am I hiding? What does my pride conceal? Try this. For 1 week, journal a daily question about your motives. Why did you act, speak, or feel this way? This practice, rooted in Socrates' method, dismantles ego and fosters clarity. Philosophers like Augustine, who sought self-knowledge through introspection, and modern psychologists like Carl Rogers, who emphasize self-awareness, echo Socrates' mirror. His life shows that inquiry, not retaliation, reveals the soul's true face. This mirror of inquiry leads us to Socrates' next strength, the courage to stand alone, unswayed by the crowd's clamor. What does it take to stand alone, to face a crowd scorned without clapping back? Socrates embodied this courage, a solitary figure whose questions defied the mob's ego. Imagine him in a sunlit courtyard, as depicted in Plato's Laches, surrounded by eager students and skeptical onlookers. A general, puffed up with military glory, sneers, "Socrates, you're a lone fool. Why not join us?" Socrates, his cloak frayed but his gaze steady, replies, "What is wisdom? Is it to follow the crowd, or to seek truth alone?" The general bravado fades, the crowd murmurs, and Socrates' solitary stand becomes a beacon, illuminating the power of conviction over conformity. In Plato's Apology, this courage shines during his trial. Facing 501 jurors, he refuses to pander. "I will not beg for my life," he says, choosing questions over appeasement. "What is justice?" he asks, standing alone against Athens' wrath. Xenophon's Memorabilia recounts him with a young poet. "What is beauty?" asked in defiance of popular opinion, his solitude a testament to truth. His refusal to clap back at insults wasn't weakness, it was strength, rooted in his commitment to the examined life. Socrates' courage wasn't isolationist, it was a call to others to stand for truth. He faced exile, ridicule, and death, yet never wavered, as Plato's Crito shows when he rejects escape. Is it just a flea? His solitude was his crown, worn not for pride but for principle. Today, we fear standing alone, cancelled, judged, or ignored. Socrates' courage is a guide. Ask, where do I conform? What truth am I afraid to stand for? Try this. Take one stand this week. Speak a truth others avoid, and question its cost. Thinkers like Thoreau, who championed individual conscience, and modern activists like Malala, who stand alone for truth, echo Socrates. His life shows that solitude, when rooted in inquiry, is a king's strength. This courage to stand alone prepares us for Socrates' next gift, the clarity of simplicity, where truth shines unadorned. What shines clearer than a life stripped of excess, where truth needs no ornament? Socrates lived this clarity, his simplicity a silent rebuke to ego's clutter. Picture him at a lavish banquet, as in Plato's Symposium, surrounded by Athens' elite, their tables laden with wine and gold. A rich host marks his plain cloak. Socrates, wily like a pauper. Socrates, his eyes alight with quiet humor, replies, "What is wealth? Is it gold or a clear mind?" The room stills, the host's ego dimmed, as Socrates' simplicity reveals a truth. Clarity comes not from having, but from being. In Xenophon's Memorabilia, Socrates' life is described as bare, few possessions, no ambition for status, only questions and virtue. "The fewer my wants, the clearer my soul," he said, a philosophy that baffled Athens' materialists. In Gorgias, he challenges Polus' love of power. What is power? Is it to own much or to need little? His simplicity wasn't poverty for its own sake. It was a deliberate choice to prioritize truth over distraction. At his trial, as Plato's Apology recounts, Socrates' simplicity shone, no grand speeches, only questions like what is justice? His uncluttered life let truth speak clearly, unmarred by ego's noise. Today, we're buried in excess, gadgets, trends, cluttered minds. Socrates' clarity of simplicity is a remedy. Ask, what clouds my truth? What can I release? Try this. Declutter one aspect of your life, a habit, a possession, and question its necessity. Stoics like Epictetus and modern minimalists like Joshua Becker echo Socrates' simplicity. His life shows that clarity is a king's crown, worn lightly but powerfully. This clarity of simplicity leads us to Socrates' vision of connection, the community of truth, where questions unite souls. What binds us when ego divides? Socrates envisioned a community of truth, where questions, not clapbacks, unite souls. Imagine him in the Agora, as Xenophon's Memorabilia describes, surrounded by a diverse crowd, merchants, youths, even slaves. A politician boasts, "I unite Athens." Socrates, with a gentle nod, asks, "What is unity? Is it power or shared truth?" The politician stumbles, the crowd leans in, and Socrates' question creates a space where all are equal in the pursuit of wisdom. In Plato's Republic, Socrates imagines a city bound by justice, where each person contributes through reason and inquiry. A city is just, he says, when all seek the good together. His dialogues, like those in Symposium, were this community in action, poets, philosophers, and use questioning what is love, not to win, but to connect. His trial, as in the Apology, was a plea for this community. What is justice? He asked, urging Athens to unite in truth, not vengeance. Socrates' refusal to clap back was his invitation to community. He listened, questioned, and included all, as Xenophon notes, making the Agora a space of shared inquiry. Today, our communities fracture, online echo chambers, divided societies. Socrates' community of truth is a call to question together. Ask, how do I divide? How can I connect? Try this. In a group, ask the Socratic question, what is fairness? And listen. Thinkers like Habermas, who valued dialogue, echo Socrates. His life shows that truth unites where ego divides. This community of truth brings us to Socrates' final challenge, the eternal dialogue, where questions echo beyond time. What outlives the body, echoing through time in a chorus of questions. Socrates' eternal dialogue, his refusal to clap back, made his voice immortal. Picture his final moments in Plato's Phaedo, the hemlock taking hold, his friends weeping. Yet Socrates, serene, asks, what is death? A sleep or a journey to truth? His question, unanswered by clapbacks, begins a dialogue that resonates across centuries, a crown that never fades. In Meno, Socrates asks, is virtue taught or eternal? His questions, preserved by Plato and Xenophon, sparked Aristotle, Augustine, and modern thinkers like Arendt. His trial, as in the Apology, was a dialogue with eternity. What is justice? Asked without retaliation, leaving a legacy of inquiry. Xenophon's Memorabilia shows him questioning a poet. What is beauty? His dialogue were eternal, seeking truths that outlast flesh. Socrates' refusal to clap back was his gift to time. He didn't fight for the moment. He questioned for forever. Today, we chase fleeting victories. Socrates' eternal dialogue calls us to ask timeless questions. Ask, what will my words leave behind? Try this. Start a dialogue with a question about love, justice, or truth, and let it grow. His life shows that questions, not clapbacks, echo in eternity. This eternal dialogue circles back to his refusal to clap back, a silent crown of truth. What ignites the soul to seek truth when ego urges us to clap back with certainty? Socrates' curiosity was a flame, burning away pride to reveal wisdom's glow. Picture him in the sun-drenched agora, as Xenophon recounts in Memorabilia, standing among merchants and youths, his barefoot present a quiet challenge to Athens' bustle. A young orator, flushed with self-assured rhetoric, interrupts. Socrates, your questions waste time. Speak plainly. The crowd chuckles, expecting a sharp retort. But Socrates, his eyes alight with a childlike spark, asks, what is plain speech? Does it seek truth, or merely applause? The orator falters, the laughter fades, and Socrates' curiosity transforms a moment, turning a taunt into a quest. The agora becomes a hearth, where his flame of inquiry kindles understanding in all who listen. This flame of curiosity was Socrates' essence, as seen in Plato's Theaetetus. Questioning Theaetetus about knowledge, is it perception or something deeper? Socrates' curiosity leads a youth to uncover truths within himself. His famous declaration in the Apology, I know that I know nothing, was not defeat but a spark, igniting endless inquiry. Xenophon's Memorabilia shows him with a craftsman. What is your craft's purpose? Asked with genuine wonder, drawing out wisdom without a hint of clapback. His curiosity wasn't aimless. It was a deliberate flame, burning through ego's defenses to reveal the soul's potential. Socrates' life was a testament to this curiosity. At his trial, as Plato describes, he questioned the jury's justice. What is impiety? Not to mock but to explore, his curiosity undimmed by death's shadow. His dialogues, from poets to generals, were fueled by this flame, inviting all to join the search for truth. His refusal to clap back at insults was rooted in this. Why strike when a question could illuminate? Today, curiosity is stifled by dogma and quick judgments. We clap back to defend egos, not seek truth. Socrates' flame is a call to reignite wonder. Ask, what don't I understand? Why am I certain? Try this. For 1 week, ask a daily question about something you take for granted, your beliefs, your habits, your world. Write down what sparks. Scientists like Feynman, who prize curiosity, and philosophers like Arendt, who question relentlessly, echo Socrates' flame. His life shows that curiosity, not retaliation, is a king's path to truth. This flame of curiosity leads us to Socrates' next gift, the strength of vulnerability, where openness outshines ego's armor. What power lies in bearing your soul, in meeting scorn without clapping back? Socrates' vulnerability was his strength, a crown worn not in pride but in openness. Imagine him in a shaded grove, as in Plato's Phaedrus, sitting by the Ilissus River with a young disciple, Phaedrus. A passing sophist, cloaked in arrogance, sneers, Socrates, your ignorance makes you weak. The disciple tenses, expecting a defense. But Socrates, his face weathered yet serene, replies, what is weakness? Is it to admit ignorance, or to hide it? The sophist's smirk fades, Phaedrus leans closer, and Socrates' vulnerability, his refusal to clap back, reveals a strength that disarms ego and invites truth. In Plato's Apology, this strength shines at his trial. Facing accusations of corruption, Socrates admits, I am not wise, exposing his limits to a hostile jury. His vulnerability wasn't defeat. It was courage, as Xenophon's Memorabilia shows when he questions a general. What is courage? Asked openly, inviting the man to share in discovery. His dialogues, like those in Euthydemus, show him embracing ignorance to unravel sophist pride without retaliation. Socrates' vulnerability was deliberate. He didn't hide flaws or feign certainty. He questioned, letting others see his humanity. His trial was the ultimate test. Refusing to beg, he asked, what is justice? His openness, as Plato notes, drew students like Plato and Alcibiades, who saw strength in his unguarded inquiry. Today, we armor ourselves with clapbacks, fearing vulnerability as weakness. Socrates' strength is a guide. Ask, where am I hiding? What if I showed my doubts? Try this. In a conversation, admit one uncertainty and ask a question. Notice a connection it builds. Thinkers like Brené Brown, who championed vulnerability, and Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, who valued openness to truth, echo Socrates. His life shows that vulnerability, not retaliation, is a king's true power. This strength of vulnerability prepares us for Socrates' vision of harmony, the balance of the soul, where truth and virtue align. What harmony emerges when reason, passion, and virtue sing in unison, untouched by ego's discord? Socrates lived his balance, his soul a symphony that never clapped back at chaos. Picture him at a lavish banquet, as in Plato's Symposium, surrounded by Athens' elite, their laughter echoing off golden cups. A poet, drunk on wine and pride, boasts, "My passion fuels my art." Socrates, reclining calmly, asks, "What is passion? Does it rule you or serve your soul?" The poet pauses, the room quiets, and Socrates' question reveals balance as the art of a kingly life, where truth conducts the soul's harmony. In Plato's Republic, Socrates likens the soul to a city. Justice is when reason rules, spirit supports, and desire obeys. He lived this balance, tempering curiosity with discipline, humor with kindness. Xenophon's memorabilia shows him teaching a youth, what is happiness? Is it desire or harmony? His trial, as in the Apology, embodied this. Facing death, he neither raged nor cowered but asked, "What is justice?" His soul in equilibrium, untouched by ego's need to clap back. Socrates' balance was practical. He didn't reject emotional desire but questioned their place, ensuring they served virtue. His dialogues, like those in Laches, guided students to align heart and mind through inquiry, never retaliation. Today, we're swayed by extremes, anger or apathy, ambition or despair. Socrates' balance is a remedy. Ask, is my soul in harmony? What pulls me off center? Try this. For one day, reflect on each choice. Does it balance reason and feeling? Aristotle's golden mean and modern mindfulness practices echo Socrates. His life shows that balance is a king's art, crafted through questions. This balance of the soul leads to Socrates' vision of connection, the unity of shared inquiry, where truth binds us. What binds souls when ego divides? Socrates' vision of shared inquiry created a unity that no clapback could break. Imagine him in the Agora, as Xenophon's memorabilia describes, surrounded by a motley crowd, artisans, youths, even passers-by. A politician, swollen with authority, declares, "I unite Athens with my rule." Socrates, his voice gentle but firm, asks, "What is unity? Is it power or questioning together?" The politician falters, the crowd leans in, and Socrates' question weaves them into a community, not of agreement, but of shared pursuit of truth. In Plato's Symposium, Socrates joins poets and philosophers, asking, "What is love?" Their diverse answers form a tapestry of inquiry, unified by his questions. His trial, as in the Apology, was a plea for this unity. "What is justice?" he asked, inviting Athens to join him in truth, not division. Xenophon notes his inclusivity, engaging all as equals in dialogue, never clapping back at scorn but fostering connection through inquiry. Socrates' unity wasn't forced. It was organic, born of questions that leveled egos. His refusal to retaliate made the Agora a space where souls met as seekers, not rivals. Today, our communities fracture, online tribes, polarized debates. Socrates' unity of shared inquiry is a call to connect. Ask, how do I divide? How can I question with others? Try this. Start a group discussion with Socratic question, what is fairness? And listen. Thinkers like Habermas, who valued dialogue, echo Socrates. His life shows that unity is forged in questions, not clapbacks. This unity of shared inquiry brings us to Socrates' final gift, the eternal now, where questions touch the timeless. What lives in the moment that outlasts time, where questions crown the soul with eternity. Socrates' eternal now was his refusal to clap back, his questions a bridge to the infinite. Picture his final hours in Plato's Phaedo, the hemlock chilling his limbs, his friends weeping. Yet Socrates, radiant, asks, what is death? A sleep or a journey to truth? His question, free of retaliation, anchors him in a timeless present, where truth shines brighter than mortality. In Meno, Socrates asks, is knowledge eternal, or do we create it? His dialogues, from Republic to Symposium, sought truth beyond time, justice, beauty, the good. Xenophon's memorabilia shows him questioning a poet. What is beauty? Is it fleeting or forever? His trial, as in the Apology, was an eternal moment. What is justice? Asked without fear, his questions a crown that outlived Athens' verdict. Socrates' eternal now was practical. He lived for truth, not reward, each question a step into timelessness. Today, we chase fleeting moments, likes, trends. Socrates' eternal now calls us to question what lasts. Ask, what truth am I serving now? Try this. Dedicate 1 hour weekly to a timeless question about love, justice, or purpose. Mystics like Eckhart and scientists like Einstein echo Socrates. His life shows that the eternal now is here, in every question that transcends ego. This eternal now circles back to his refusal to clap back, a silent crown of truth. What light pierces the shadows of our souls, revealing truths we hide from ourselves? Socrates' lantern of self-examination illuminated the ego, never clapping back but questioning to uncover the authentic self. Picture him in the twilight of Athens' Agora, as Xenophon describes in Memorabilia. Standing among merchants and youths, his presence a quiet beacon. A proud aristocrat, draped in fine robes, scoffs. Socrates, your endless questions bore us. Prove your worth. The crowd murmurs, expecting a sharp retort. But Socrates, his weathered face glowing with calm resolve, asks, what is worth? Is it your robes, or the soul beneath them? The aristocrat confidence cracks. The crowd leans in, and Socrates' question becomes a lantern, casting light on the man's unexamined pride. In that moment, the Agora transforms into a temple of self-discovery, where inquiry outshines ego's glare. This lantern of self-examination was Socrates' call, as seen in Plato's Alcibiades' eye. He tells Alcibiades, see yourself clearly, for without self-knowledge you cannot live well. His questions, what is virtue? What drives you? Were mirrors, reflecting the soul's contradictions. In Apology, during his trial, he holds this lantern to the jury. What is corruption? He asks, exposing their hypocrisy without a clapback. Xenophon's Memorabilia shows him with a young poet. What is beauty? Asked gently, guiding the poet to examine his own heart. Socrates' self-examination wasn't navel-gazing. It was a rigorous pursuit of truth, a refusal to let ego obscure the soul. His life embodied this. Life embodied this. He questioned himself as fiercely as he did others, as Plato notes in Crito, reflecting on justice even in prison. Is it just to escape? His refusal to clap back at insults, whether from Meletus or marketplace hecklers, was rooted in this self-examination, choosing inquiry over pride. His lantern burned bright, illuminating Athens' shadows, even at the cost of his life. Today, we avoid self-examination, distracted by social media masks and external validation. Socrates' lantern is a call to look within. Ask, what am I avoiding about myself? What truths lie beneath my ego? Try this. For 1 week, journal a daily Socratic question about your choices. Why did you act this way? What does it reveal? This practice, rooted in Socrates' method, dismantles ego and fosters authenticity. Philosophers like Augustine, who sought divine self-knowledge, and modern psychologists like Jung, who explored the shadow self, echo Socrates' lantern. His life shows that self-examination, not retaliation, is the king's path to truth. This lantern of self-examination leads us to Socrates' next gift, the courage to embrace uncertainty where questions reign over certainty's throne. What strength lies in standing firm when the ground of certainty shifts, in questioning without clapping back. Socrates' courage to embrace uncertainty was his crown, a defiance of ego's need for answers. Imagine him in a quiet grove by the Ilissus River, as in Plato's Phaedrus, sitting with a young disciple, Phaedrus, under whispering plane trees. A passing rhetorician, confident in his oratory, mocks him. Socrates, your doubts lead nowhere. Give us certainty. Phaedrus tenses, but Socrates, his eyes twinkling with fearless curiosity, replies, "What is certainty? Is it truth or a chain on the soul?" The rhetorician falters, the grove stills, and Socrates' embrace of uncertainty becomes a royal act, a refusal to clap back that opens the door to wisdom. In Plato's Meno, Socrates questions a slave boy about geometry. "What is knowledge?" he asks, leading the boy to discover truth through uncertainty. His famous claim, "I know that I know nothing," from Apology, was his courage, rejecting false certainties. Xenophon's Memorabilia shows him with a general. "What is courage?" asked without pretense, embracing the unknown to uncover truth. At his trial, as Plato recounts, he faced death's uncertainty with a question, "What is death?" His refusal to clap back at the jury's verdict was rooted in this courage, choosing inquiry over fear. Socrates' life was a testament to embracing uncertainty. He questioned Athens' dogmas, risking exile and death, because he trusted truth lay beyond the known. His dialogues, from poets to politicians, invited others to join this fearless quest, never retaliating but always probing. Today, we cling to certainty, dogmatic beliefs, quick judgments, clapbacks to silence doubt. Socrates' courage is a guide. Ask, what am I certain of? What if I'm wrong? Try this. Face one uncertainty, a career choice, a fear, and question it Socratically for a week. Write down what emerges. Thinkers like Descartes, who built philosophy on doubt, and modern scientists like Feynman, who celebrated uncertainty, echo Socrates. His life shows that embracing uncertainty, not fighting it, is a king's strength. This courage to embrace uncertainty prepares us for Socrates' vision of harmony, the symphony of virtue, where truth conducts the soul. What music plays when the soul aligns with virtue, untouched by ego's discord? Socrates lived this symphony, his questions a melody that never clapped back but harmonized truth and goodness. Picture him at a bustling Athenian banquet, as in Plato's Symposium, reclining among poets and aristocrats, their laughter mingling with the clink of golden cups. A young noble, flushed with pride, boasts, "My virtue is my lineage." Socrates, his voice soft but piercing, asks, "What is virtue? Is it your name or your soul song?" The noble pauses, the banquet hushes, and Socrates' question conducts a symphony, weaving virtue into the hearts of all who listen. In Plato's Republic, Socrates describes the soul as a harmony, just as is when reason, spirit, and desire sing together. He lived this, balancing inquiry with kindness, wit with wisdom. Xenophon's Memorabilia shows him teaching a merchant. "What is goodness?" asked with care, guiding the man to align his actions with virtue. At his trial, as an apology, his symphony shone. "What is justice?" asked calmly, his soul in tune despite death's threat. His refusal to clap back was his music, letting virtue's melody speak louder than ego's noise. Socrates' symphony was practical. He didn't preach virtue but questioned to awaken it, as seen in Latches of the Warrior, "What is courage?" His dialogues were compositions, harmonizing souls through shared inquiry, never retaliation. Today, our souls are discordant, pulled by ambition, fear, or clapbacks. Socrates' symphony is a call to align with virtue. Ask, are my actions in tune with goodness? What disrupts my soul's harmony? Try this. For one day, question each choice. Does it serve justice, kindness, or truth? Aristotle's Ethics and Modern Positive Psychology echoes Socrates' virtue. His life shows that virtue's symphony, not ego's noise, is a king's crown. This symphony of virtue leads to Socrates' vision of legacy, the ripple of inquiry, where questions echo across time. What ripples through time, outlasting the sting of insults unanswered? Socrates' questions were ripples, spreading truth without clapping back. Imagine him in a quiet courtyard, as in Plato's Latches, teaching a young warrior about courage. A skeptic interrupts, "Your words fade. Socrates, what do they achieve?" Socrates, his gaze steady, asks, "What is achievement?" Is it a statue or a thought that lives forever? The skeptic falls silent. The warrior listens, and Socrates' question sends a ripple through the courtyard, touching souls across centuries. In Phaedo, facing death, Socrates asks, "What is a soul?" His questions, preserved by Plato and Xenophon, sparked Aristotle, Aquinas, and modern thinkers like Popper. His trial, as an apology, was a ripple's crest. What is justice? Asked without retaliation, reshaping philosophy. Xenophon's memorabilia shows him questioning a poet. What is beauty? Each dialogue was a pebble dropped in time stream, its ripples felt in Nietzsche critiques and Arendt's ethics. Socrates' ripple of inquiry was intentional. He sought not fame but impact, believing truth spread through questions, not clapbacks. His refusal to fight insults made his legacy eternal, as his students carried his method forward. Today, we chase fleeting clout, likes, retweets, clapbacks. Socrates' ripple is a call to question for eternity. Ask, what will my words leave behind? How can I spark truth? Try this. Share a Socratic question with someone, a friend, a colleague, and see where it leads. Thinkers like Martin Luther King Jr., inspired by Socratic inquiry, show truth's ripple effect. Socrates' life proves that questions, not comebacks, shape the future. This ripple of inquiry brings us to Socrates' final gift, the eternal quest where truth transcends time. What pursuit outlives a body, crowning the soul with questions that touch eternity. Socrates' eternal quest was his refusal to clap back. His inquiries are thrown in the timeless now. Picture his final moments in Plato's Phaedo, the hemlock still spreading, his friends weeping. Yet Socrates, radiant, asks, what is death? A dreamless sleep, or a journey to truth? His question, free of ego's retaliation, anchors him in an eternal quest, where truth shines brighter than mortality's shadow. In Meno, Socrates asks, is virtue eternal or learned? His dialogues, from Symposium to Republic, sought the good, the just, the beautiful, truths beyond time. Xenophon's memorabilia shows him questioning a youth. What is purpose? Is it fleeting or forever? His trial, as an apology, was a quest's climax. What is justice? Asked without fear, his questions a crown that outlived Athens' verdict. Socrates' eternal quest was practical. He lived for truth, not reward, each question a step into eternity. Today, we're trapped in the ephemeral, trends, clapbacks, instant fame. Socrates' quest calls us to seek what lasts. Ask, what truth am I chasing? What endures beyond me? Try this. Dedicate 1 hour weekly to a timeless question about love, justice, or meaning. Mystics like Plotinus and scientists like Einstein, seeking universal truths, echo Socrates. His life shows that the eternal quest, not ego's fight, is a king's legacy. This eternal quest circles back to his refusal to clap back, a silent crown that reigned forever. The hemlock's chill crept through Socrates' veins, the dim prison cell heavy with his friends' quiet sobs. Yet, as Plato recounts in Phaedo, Socrates' final question, what is death? Cut through the sorrow, a beacon of calm in the face of eternity. In 399 BCE, Athens sought to silence him, branding him a corrupter, a heretic. But Socrates, crowned not by gold but by truth, never clapped back. His trial was no defeat. It was a triumph of questions over ego, his silence louder than any retort. Each query he posed, from the agora to the courtroom, rippled through time, touching Plato, Aristotle, and every soul daring to seek truth. His refusal to meet insult with insult made him a king, his legacy a throne built on inquiry. Socrates' wisdom lives in his refusal to fight pride with pride. I know that I know nothing, he said in Apology, a declaration that dismantled ego and sparked wisdom. Virtue, his soul's compass, guided him through Athens' chaos, urging us to choose justice over victory, kindness over vengeance. His mantra, the unexamined life is not worth living, challenges us to question our certainties, to peel back the mask we wear in a world of likes, trends, and clapbacks. In an age of noise, where egos clash in digital arenas, Socrates' questions are a call to pause, to listen, to seek clarity over conquest. To honor Socrates is not to memorize his words, but to live his spirit. It's to meet anger with a question, to face fear with curiosity, to choose truth over applause. His refusal to clap back was his power, a silent crown that humbled Athens and still humbles us. Try it. The next time pride tempts you to strike back, ask instead, what is true here? Watch how it shifts your soul. His dialogues, preserved by Xenophon and Plato, echo in every honest question we dare to ask, from Augustine's Confessions to modern truth-seekers like Hannah Arendt. As the sun sets on Athens, imagine Socrates' silhouette in the Agora, his voice a whisper across centuries. He turns to you, his gaze piercing yet gentle, and asks, what is the life you're living? That question, his eternal gift, burns in the silence of your heart. It demands no clapback, only courage to examine, to seek, to be. Answer it not with words, but with a life of inquiry, crowned by truth. For in that pursuit, you join Socrates, not in death, but in the timeless reign of a soul that questioned forever. This was just one spark of wisdom, but there's so much more ahead. Join the journey, subscribe to Socratic Spark, and let philosophy guide your path to success.